Hello, everybody, and happy Mental Health Monday. I hope you guys all had as good a weekend as you can possibly have, given the ongoing issues that are facing our world right now. It just seems to be one thing on top of another, doesn't it? And it's almost like when you thought it couldn't get worse, then just one more thing is added. And it's just been a really trying 2 weeks, I think. Trying to deal with in the ways that I am able to help, advocate for our BIPOC communities and, fight back against some of the racism that's coming out within my own circle of acquaintances on Facebook, and that on top of COVID. And then something else happened here in Canada on Friday that I won't get into because it's going to make me really upset, but was particularly upsetting to me as a woman, and I think a lot of women in Ontario. And it was sort of just the last straw for me on Friday. And I think what I said was, I'm done with 2020. But of course we can't be done with 2020. But I could definitely be done with my day. So on Friday afternoon, about 3:00, I was like, I'm done. I have a couple of hours where I normally would probably still keep doing a little bit of work. But I said I'm done. And I was able to come to this part of my apartment that I never used before COVID, because it's our guest room, and my dresser or my wardrobe is in here. It's too tall to fit anywhere helpful in the bedroom, so I have my wardrobe in here. So I come in here to get my clothes and stuff, but that was about it. But since quarantine and me having a lot more time in the morning, since I don't have to actually leave and go to work, I still get up with Jesse, and he gets up to go to work at about 6 a.m. So I get up around the same time, and I've actually started staying up. And what I have done is started this really wonderful morning routine. And I do it here in the guest room, and you can't really tell because I can't switch the camera around while I'm filming, but there's sort of this little nook with a really lovely window, and our spare bed's in it, so I kind of just sit in this really comfy nook on the bed, and the beautiful early morning sun streams in the window from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. is just the most beautiful light. The street is just full of trees, and there's a lovely old church that rings its bells, and it's just a really beautiful space. But more than just the beauty of the space, I think it's what I have started doing in this space that has made it such a comforting space for me. Because on Friday it was I didn't even question, I didn't even think about where I was going to go when I said I'm done. I'm just going to go watch some Netflix or read my book. I'm just going to chill. And it was here that I came. And in the past, that never would have happened. I would have just probably sat on the couch, or maybe even in my own bedroom if I was feeling particularly, vulnerable. That's a super safe place, obviously, your bed. But I just came in here without even thinking. And so I started thinking about what it was about this space that made it my go-to safe spot when I was in need of some mental and emotional decompressing. And what I realized is that it's because of this really wonderful morning routine that I have started, that my brain now associates it with calm and relaxation and meditation and self-care and chill and exploration. And I'll tell you what I mean by that in a minute when I go through what my routine is. But it's just become this really wonderful, comfy, safe bubble for me physically, because it's a really lovely, there's lots of pillows and blankets and stuff, but also mentally and emotionally, which I think is the more important of the two. My brain just associates it now with safety, which is really, really a wonderful thing to have in times like this, a space where you can go, where you feel 100% safe physically, but also mentally and emotionally as well, because I know for a lot of people right now, they are feeling like they have no safe space whatsoever. So I'm not taking this for granted. So today, for Mental Health Monday, I wanted to encourage you to maybe find your own space where you can, if you don't already, where you can sort of build this similar safe bubble for yourself, whether that's a corner of your bedroom or your basement or your office. If you have one in your home, might be your bathroom if that's, the only quiet, lockable door you have in your house if you have kids or whatever. But try to find, if you can, a really safe, comfortable space where you can start your own morning routine. So what I do is I have always known that I should be meditating in the morning, but because it kind of just sets you up for a good day. But because of teaching, particularly substitute teaching, when I don't always know where I'm going, I have to get up at about 6 a.m. and I have to immediately start getting ready for work and answering the phone and checking online to see if there's any jobs for that day. So if I don't end up going to work, sure, I could meditate, but often I would go back to bed. So now I realize that now that I have the time and I'm getting up and I'm staying up, why don't I meditate in the morning? And then I was also noticing that I'm not reading recently. I've not, in the recent year or so, I've not been reading as much since going back to work. And so I was like, okay, I want to get back to reading. And I said, okay, I don't want to just read things for my entertainment and enjoyment, which I do want to do as well, but I also want to make sure I'm reading some stuff that's going to help to develop skills or help with exploration or help with self-care, or help with healing, something nonfiction or maybe even fiction, but so far it's been nonfiction that helps to support me or helps me grow in some way, whether that's personally or my skills. So I've started sort of coming in here in the morning with my cup of tea. I set a timer for 20 minutes and I read a book first that is in some way supportive of my mental health, emotional health, my self-exploration, my self-development, my skill development. And I set a timer for 20 minutes and I read that for 20 minutes. Then I set another timer for 20 minutes and I read whatever novel I have right now. So that's my reading for entertainment. And then once that's done, I meditate for anywhere from 8 or 9 minutes up to like 20 minutes, depending just on what I'm feeling for the day or what meditation I decide to follow along with. And that's it. And it's just a really wonderful way to start the day. It sets me off on the right path, on the right foot. And I find that I'm a lot more calm and I'm a lot more grounded and centered and focused for the rest of the day and a lot more positive. I just feel safe in this bubble, and it's that routine, I think, that has really made this my safe space. And so that really hammered home for me the fact that if my brain now associates this space with being safe, it must mean that it associates that routine with being safe and supported and mentally and emotionally happy. So that really helped me to realize not just the importance of having a space like this, but the impact that that routine was having on me mentally and emotionally and physically as well, I'm sure, because lowered stress, of course, means better physical health. So I really encourage you to find your own morning routine. Now, if reading is not for you, that's totally fine. You can pick a documentary that you've been meaning to watch it for 20 minutes, and then do an activity of some sort, a hobby that you really love. So if it's not reading, then it could be, arts and crafts. It could be dancing. It could be listening to a podcast. It could be drawing. It could be coloring, one of those cool paint by numbers, any really fun activity that you really enjoy doing that brings you joy and brings you calm. So if that's not reading for you, But I do encourage it to be one thing that is, developmental of your personal growth, healing, skills, anything like that. Like, for example, I was reading a Brene Brown book to fill that component of my routine. And then something fun, whether that's reading a fun book or something else entirely. And then if meditation, I mean, I really, really, really do encourage you to meditate if you don't already. I've just found it incredibly wonderful, and it's really what opened the door to the spiritual health aspect of my healing, which was major and key for me, and I wouldn't have gotten there without meditation. So I really, really, really recommend meditation. But if it's really not your thing, if you've really given it a good go, and I mean like tried every day for 2 weeks to meditate for like 5 minutes, if you've tried to do that for a couple of weeks and you just really can't get on board, that's okay. For some people, it's really not their thing. But I do encourage you to, instead of meditation, do something else that is meditative, that puts you in that meditative state. So whether that's going for a walk, writing in your journal, doing some yoga, doing tapping, EFT tapping, something that is going to be calming and sort of like just set you off on the right foot for the day. So if it's not meditation, that's okay, but try to make it an activity that is sort of meditative or puts you in that similar sort of calmed, restful state, recovery state. Yeah. So I really hope that you guys try it out. If you do, let me know. Please let me know what activities you try, because that's my routine, reading and meditation, but that might not be your routine. So I'm really interested to hear if anybody tries something different. So if you do, send me a message, pop a comment down below. And I really hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and let's hope it gets better. All right. Let's talk to you soon. Bye.